Hi, welcome. So today's Pehar reading is going to be your new beginning. Um, this doesn't have anything to do with the new year or the start of the year or something. This is timeless. So I don't know what to say. So this is going to be your next new beginning that is going to be possibly quite significant in your life. And of course, this is a general reading, so it may not apply for all, but hopefully it will make sense for someone out there. So, as usual, not as usual, I usually do 4 piles, but today I have, sorry for the shaking, camera shaking. So, for today's group, we have 3 groups today. So, the first one is this bear keychain, and this second one is the unicorn keychain, and the third one is this, I don't know how you call that. Is that boba tea or bubble tea? I usually call it like bubble tea. So yeah, so choose whatever you feel drawn to, and let's get started with your reading. So for those who chose group number 1, so this is going to be your reading. So what is going to be your new beginning, your next new beginning? And this is something general, so it could apply to any aspect of your life. And hopefully this is going to resonate for someone out there. And let's get started now. Okay, so the first card that you have is the 9 of Cups in reverse. You also have the Page of Cups in reverse. Not Page of Cups, this is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The 9 of Swords in reverse. You also have Awareness, Future. You also have Submerge, 7th house, Addict. Light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. You also have Tama, the station master. Make friends while you work. Start every journey with optimism. Look for the light at the end of the tunnel. It might be a mouse with a torch. And you also have moving forward. So, like any other form of travel, it is a symbol of the discoveries you're making as you move forward in life. It's generally by the way, this is a dream deck, so it's generally a positive dream because you're relying on your own resources to get where you need to be. The surroundings and any obstacles or diversions you encounter will give you a clue about your progress. Okay, so for signs first, I'm getting I'm not sure about the awareness card. It could be the Magician. I'm not sure, but you have Libra in here. Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing there mostly. So it could be you, one of these signs. It could be you. For what? Like, one of these signs could be you, but it doesn't have to be. So, let me see what's going on in here. I don't know, but the first thing that came to my mind is that there's your next new beginning has something to do about the way how your mind comes to maturity. I'm not saying that you're childish or whatever that may be. I mean, you could be, but that's what I'm seeing here. It's like there's something about the way you think, your mindset is coming out of that shallow um, way of thinking. This could be in general, or this could be just talking about one aspect of your life. But I do see you kind of like having these long term either goals in your mind or long term plans in your mind. Like you're finally um, looking into the further future in here. That's going to be your new beginning, especially if you're the type of person who I don't know, this may not be for everyone, but with the Nine of Cups and the addict in here, it's a possibility that you do have addictions. It could be any addiction, but I'm getting like maybe drinking, smoking, something like that. But again, it doesn't have to be. Maybe partying, but you know, this may make more sense, especially if you're the type of person who spends most of your time just going after shallow things, things that is not good for the long run for you. You go after people that you know you go after relationships that isn't even for the long term even. I don't know if I'm making sense right now. This may not apply for all, but I'm just getting this feeling of someone who is into fun, more into, things that mostly doesn't really matter, if that makes sense. And you're coming out of that. And I don't know if you've been mostly focused on your career, on your productive stuff right now, but I do see you coming out of that place as well in the future. Or maybe you're just the type of person who doesn't really deal with commitment. You just prefer dating, but you're not really, you don't really want anything serious. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm getting in here. There's like a lighthearted energy coming from you, but in your next new beginning, it's all about you finally coming into this seriousness. Because I do see that you're starting to realize what kind of bad pattern you have, and you start to realize that it's not something that you want anymore. It's not something that will benefit you in the future. So it could be split into two, where for some of you, you are more into lighthearted things, lighthearted connections. And for others of you, there's also this scenario where maybe you're more focused on your career, on busy stuff in your life, material stuff. And it's like you're finally starting to mingle more with other people, starting to make more friends, starting to communicate more. Because there's like, you will come into this, I know this sounds kind of stupid, but there's this energy of awakening coming from you. Like, wow, I have been dealing with my life the wrong way all this time, or I just, maybe you're just going to realize that you need a change. I'm getting like mixed scenarios in here, because I'm also getting like for some of you there is this scenario like maybe someone in here spent most of their time with unhealthy habits, addictions, and it's like they may have been detached from the world, from people, from important relationships, and their next new beginning has something to do about finally coming out of that hermit mode and just again mingling, just meeting other people. So whether you are into addiction, or you're just very busy with your work, or you're just the lighthearted type of person, in your next new beginning, I do see you coming into a relationship. Now, I could be. Now, I'm not sure if I should say that this is like a romantic relationship or just a platonic relationship, but I do see you getting more committed to other people. I do see you finally getting into commitment. So it could be split to different groups in here, or to two different groups. For some of you, this may not apply for all, but I see someone possibly relocating, moving in, possibly in a different country, or just in a far away location, like changing locations. And I'm not sure if you're the type of person who's more into the present, and you're not really the type of person to look into the future, because you're all about, just enjoy the present because it's what matters. It's what you know, it's what you see. But again, that's a change, because you're finally learning how to I'm not going to say that you're finally seeing the future, but you're just finally learning how to I don't even know how to explain that. Let's just say you're just finally having you're finally developing this kind of vast way of thinking about life, vast way of thinking about your path. If you're just seeing your path in one way, I do see you expanding that. And especially if you have like some addictive behavior in here, or maybe just an addictive way of thinking, I do see you coming or trying to control that. I see you trying to improve yourself in that aspect, even though it's kind of tempting. So I don't want to make this reading too long. Hopefully that made sense, that resonated, and that will be all. So for those who chose group number 2, so this is going to be your reading. So this is going to be your new beginning, your next new beginning that is possibly going to be significant in your life. So this is a general reading. It could apply to any aspect of your life, and hopefully it will apply to someone out there. So let's get started with your pile. Wait a second. Okay, let me just. Okay, it's kind of shaking. So you have the 3 of Cups. You also have the Ace of Cups. You also have the 4 of Swords in reverse. Radiance, emotional loss, I don't know how to pronounce this. Toad. So you have that. You also have Saturn. And BRF cat. Grouchiness is next to godliness. Start every day with a hiss and get it over with. Frown and the whole world frowns with you. You have guide, shadow attribute, places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. And birds. So a bird or flock of birds is generally a positive sign, a symbol of freedom and joy as well as your hopes and aspirations taking flight. Pay attention to altitude. Flying high can be taken metaphorically. The type of bird and its particular associations can be significant. So eagles, hawks, falcons, and many other predatory birds might appear threatening, reflecting insecurity. Although eagles can also represent power and pride. Okay. So for signs, I'm seeing a lot of water in here, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and also for some reason I'm seeing Leo in here. So Leo, and I forgot Saturn. Is that Capricorn or Taurus? I think Taurus is also Saturn, so Taurus, Capricorn. So these signs could be, one of these signs could, this happened in pile number 1. So you could be one of these signs, but it doesn't have to be. So this is quite similar to pile number 1. So you may want to watch pile number 1 if you feel drawn to that. But the thing is, in comparison to pile number 1, your pile seems more the real hermit type. This seems more like someone who is maybe very detached from other people. Maybe you also have temperamental issues. You easily get angry towards other people. You don't like people, maybe like you're jaded in general. And I do see you coming out of that. So your next new beginning has something to do about you being more outgoing. Even if you think that it's never going to happen to you, I do see that kind of change happening. Again, it's quite similar to pile number 1. But with you, I feel like you may have kept yourself, or you're still keeping yourself, like you're keeping you to yourself. That's what I mean. Like maybe this has been going for months now, years, I don't know, but there's that ongoing kind of hermit energy from you. For some of you, maybe you're just introverts and you prefer being alone. I don't know. But there's also something about you being skeptic. Like maybe you have trust issues, maybe you have a hard time trusting other people for some of you. And I do see you coming out of that energy as well. Like in your next new beginning, it's you finally realizing like, oh, it's okay for me to trust people. It's okay for me to open up. Because there's also this kind of like consistent pessimism from you, and I do see you coming into that positive energy. Let me just look at this. Yeah, similar to pile number 1, there's a shallowness in the way you perceive things, in the way you think. And maybe you're more focused on your career as well, or on your productive stuff, whatever that may be. And maybe this hermit energy from you, this grouchiness from you, or whatever that may be, that you're currently in, or you may have, I don't know if you're still experiencing this. I assume that you're still in this energy, but maybe this is because you came from a heartbreak, from a very big heartbreak, or maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe someone passed away, or maybe just someone left you. Maybe you lost a friend, or just something very dear and important to you, and you really took that to heart. And it's like you this has put you in this kind of energy where you want to detach yourself, you don't trust people, and it's hard for you to open up, to let loose. And it's like you finally coming out of that energy, you freeing yourself from that pain, from that sorrow. Is that the same? Pain, sorrow, whatever that may be, I don't know. So because you're finally seeing hope in your situation, or you will finally see hope, which makes this change for you. I also feel like there's this resistant energy from you where you have a hard time accepting new beginnings in your life. Maybe a new person comes in your way, whether that be a friend or a romantic interest, and it's just very difficult for you to accept them because of what you're going through. If because of how you are, maybe in general. But there's something about you that's very cautious, that's like maybe there's a job opportunity coming in your way, whatever, these type of opportunities coming in your way, you just have a hard time opening your mind about it because you're just so fixated on closing yourself off. You just don't see the silver lining in things. Just like in Paul number 1, it's kind of hard for me to decipher if this has something to do, like this new beginning has something to do about love. But in your next new beginning, I see you finally, again, freeing yourself and finally meeting more people, maybe dating more people, or meeting new friends, or meeting your old friends that you have disconnected from. There's just you being more interactive than the usual. Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this card is like I had this feeling that you're trying to move away from something, you're trying to avoid something, like maybe again a group of people, family, friends, dating, something like that. I'm not sure about this Ace of Cups. Maybe you're also very cautious of entering romantic relationships. And if that's the case for you in your next new beginning, it has something to do about you finally accepting offers from other people. I want to clarify. And I'm just going to make this quick because I don't want to make this reading long. So let me just get one final card. Oof. You have the 5 of Diamonds. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, you just have this avoidant energy from you. Now, it's not really telling me if this is something romantic or if this is something more platonic. Huh. I guess I'm just gonna say that it could be for two groups in here, where for some of you this offer has something to do about platonic stuff, and for others of you this is going to be like someone offering you a cup of, I don't usually say that, it's kind of gay to say, but someone offering you their, like someone confessing feelings to you, like showing interest to you. Okay. I'm also seeing like if you are usually like someone who frowns, who doesn't smile a lot, or just someone who's usually down, I do see that in your next new beginning, you're going to become more bubbly. You're going to become more happy. And, you know, other people may find it weird. Like, what's the change all about? Like, what's the sudden change? But especially if you're still dealing with some past pain, I see in your next new beginning, it has something to do about you finding peace for yourself. Finally moving on completely from something. So, hopefully that made sense. That's what I'm seeing for your reading. I don't want to make this too long. Hopefully that made sense, that resonated, and that will be all. So for those who chose group number 2, or not 2, group number 3, so this is going to be your reading. So what is going to be your new beginning, like your next new beginning that is possibly going to be significant in your life? So this is something general, so it could be anything, like any aspect, could be any aspect in your life. But hopefully it's going to resonate, it's going to make sense for someone out there. And let's get started with your reading now. So the first card that you have is the Nine of Swords in reverse. You also have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You have the Sun in reverse. Karma in reverse. You have Transformation in reverse. You also have Endurance. You have Uranus or Uranus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Someone says like it's Uranus, someone says it's Uranus, so what is going on in here? Okay, so you also have Child Divine, so shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. You also have the Bruiser, so if you love someone, fight for them. Even the bravest feel fear. Hold your corner when others threaten to spray in your territory. And elderly people. So it signify lessons. What? Signify? Signify lessons the past can teach you. Though at the more obvious level, they may relate to worries about our aged loved ones becoming frail and or dependent, or about our own prospects as we endure the aging process. Okay, so for signs, I'm getting Sagittarius, Leo, Aquarius, and what else is going on in here? Scorpio. So it could be one of these signs, but it doesn't have to be. Let me see what's going on with your pile. You know, I just want to say that this one is going to be a tough one for you, for your next new beginning, because it has something to do about your independence. I don't know if you're the type of person who depend a lot on other people, like you always maybe seek for emotional support from other people, or you just depend your happiness on other people, whatever that may be, that talks about dependence. I do see that in your next new beginning, it has something to do about you being more. It's a lesson, something to do about the universe teaching you how to depend on yourself, how to um it's about you learning. I don't want to say that the people who is supporting you right now is going to be gone in your life, but there's just a feeling in here where you'll have to deal with this new beginning by yourself, because in your next new beginning, it has like the wheel is going to turn, but in a very different direction, a different direction far from your own expectations, and you may not like it. I'm not saying this is a bad situation, but I just see that this is completely a different breakthrough for you. And it may shock you, it it may put you off balance, because this is not something that maybe you're not aware or prepared for. You didn't see this coming. But this is completely new. You're going to be complete, like, this is a new beginning, but you're definitely going to enter a completely new path or direction that you may have not yet experienced before, or you maybe refuse to be in. But I do see that you may find yourself in difficulty in this new beginning. But it's not really a bad thing, like, oh, what kind of new beginning is this? Because I feel like this is just teaching you how to, I don't know what's with this messages about maturity, but this is kind of like, I'm not saying like pile number 1 and pile number 3 are the same, but pile number 1 is also talking about maturity. But with your pile, like, this is just happening, like this sudden change, like a U-turn kind of change in your life is just happening to teach you, as usual, to teach you how to grow, how to mature. Because you are represented by the child divine in here, and I feel like there's something about you. I don't know if you're doing this consciously or subconsciously, but there's just something about you that refuses um to grow up. Whatever your age may be, it doesn't matter. There's something about you that refuses to see things from a vast perspective, or to have a different mindset, to have like, there's just something stubborn about you. And you may have a hard time learning, like learning from your experiences. You may have a hard time growing up in a metaphorical sense. When I was shuffling your pile, I channeled a message, but I don't remember it anymore. But it has something to do, like when I saw this karma card in reverse, it has something to do about, I really don't remember. I don't know if you have like a very specific expectation about your path right now, about your life right now. I mean, everyone do have expectations in their life, but you may be anticipating for something very specific, like really really anticipating for something specific or expecting for something specific, but I just want to say, like, you may, okay, let's, it depends on you, on, you know, maybe this is just how you will view it, or maybe this is really the case where something may go wrong in your new beginning. And I know it sounds stupid to say something negative in a new beginning, but new beginnings doesn't have to be positive all the time. So I cannot sugarcoat that shit. So what is going on in here? Let me just see something else. I don't want to make this reading too long. So you are being advised in here to be strong, to be prepared for this new beginning, even though you have no idea what kind of new beginning this is. Because it will really test your patience, it will really test your bravery as well, your courage, your willpower to go after things. How far can you go? And I do see that in your next new beginning, you may not really find it, you may not really see the positivity in here. You may not, you know, you may not really, I see gloomy energy from you, like feeling down about this. Let me just read this again. If we find an old phase troubling, perhaps this is a dream deck, by the way. Perhaps the dream is trying to tell us that we should be more accepting. After all, with age comes wisdom. Consider how the old person in the dream shows their age. I also get this feeling that you are refusing to leave something behind, like maybe an old habit or some belief that you always try to grasp grasp on. And I'm not really seeing a specific message in here where this has something to do, like whether this has something to do about your career, your passions in life, or maybe this is about love life. I don't see that. So maybe it could apply for anything. I mean, all of the three piles are kinda not so pointing to something specific, so it may apply for anything in their life. And I don't know if that's gonna help, but let me see what's going on in here. For some of you, if this has something to do about career, I do see you inventing something that you haven't invented just yet. Like a project that is just different, that is different from what you usually like. Or maybe this is a passion, like maybe let's say you want to try tarot reading, even though you're not really in, you know, you, even though you know that you're not into tarot reading, something like that. So whatever this may be, it will really challenge you. It will test your creativity. But if this has something to do about love, it's like you coming into a weird, unconventional type of relationship. Like maybe you're the type of person who's into monogamy, or is that the right word? I don't know. Like maybe you're a very monogamous person, but then you start having this feeling like, or not having this feeling, but maybe you will encounter this type of relationship where it requires you to be open-minded. Like maybe you're gonna end up being with someone who's 50 years older than you, or someone who is maybe you're gonna be into like a relationship where it includes like 3 people in there. Something along those lines, where you usually prefer to avoid something along those lines. But in your next new beginning, this has something to do about you, like the universe trying to open up your mind to something more unconventional, possibly. So I don't want to make this reading too long. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that resonated. And that will be all.